back. I'm live. You can see all those clothes that I need to go through. I got to find how to put a backing on this. Like in Zoom, I have a special background that you can see, and nobody can see anything behind me with the Zoom. I am going to introduce myself. If you're watching, my name is Sandra, and my channel is either Sandra Gregg or Sandbar 3000. I'm not sure which one. I have to ask somebody, hey, can you tell me what the name of my channel is? Is it Sandbar 3000 or Sandra Gregg? How many? I want to say I do 1 to 2 videos a month right now. I'm not doing too many lives like I used to back in 2008, 2010, 2011, 2013. Back in those days, I had a following, and I declared myself an atheist in 2013. So I had a following back then. I do not have a following now. I have a somewhat of an outline here. And I didn't finish it. It's important for me to have outlines because I can do a 45 to an hour video, and I don't really want to do that today. So I will say this because I had a following, and I should have put in what do you call those? Hashtags. I should have put in hashtags before I started this, but I forgot. So I'll remember next time I do a video. But I'm still an agnostic. And atheists are probably going to think that I'm really stupid, but it doesn't really matter what other people think. What matters is what I think. And I cannot be a Gnostic theist because I don't know that there's a God. That is a very dangerous place to say, I know there's a God. I know. So I am an agnostic theist. I believe in something, but I don't believe it's possible to know. I don't think we can know in our puny little brain the concept of forever. I don't think we can understand that ever. Not in our human brain. I don't think we can conceptualize what it means by God. And I am not talking about a Christian God in the Bible. And it is not my job to prove to any atheist or anybody, it's not my job to prove to you that God exists. Atheists may say, well, you believe in God, prove it. It's not my job. It's not my job to do that. My job is to fix my money story, fix my self-worth story, and to fix the false beliefs I have around money, and also fix the false beliefs I have around people, specifically people in organizations that make decisions in jobs. I have a specific wealth, or not wealth, but a worth story. I have a specific values story, and I have a specific money story. And the story that I'm telling myself is that I am not really worthy of a job that's about $30 an hour. And by me thinking that I'm not worthy of a job that's $30 an hour, I am not attracting that job to me. But what I'm also doing is attaching my worth to a job title and attaching my worth to being employed and attaching my worth to how much money I make. So my worth, this is truth, right? My worth is way up here. My worth is unlimited. The value I provide to employers is somewhere around here, but my worth is way up there. My worth is not equal to my value. And what I was doing was this: my worth is this, Mr. Employer, but you're only willing to pay me $20 an hour, which is stupid with an MBA. California employers now pay McDonald's workers $20 an hour, and I am worth more than that. Okay. Worth is way up here. I'm changing the language now. I provide more value than the fast food worker because my worth is way up there. My worth is endless. Worth has nothing to do with income. It has nothing to do with if you're employed or disabled or retired. It it doesn't matter. Everybody is worth way up there, which can go into a very interesting discussion, which I'm not going to go there. That's another video. So everybody's worth is way up there, but the value you provide, that's where the continuum of where should we pay you. And I was saying to employers in my mind, these people think that I want to work for $17.50 an hour. Like, but what do these people think I am? Just because my last job was in a retail store at a kiosk for Verizon, and they think that I work in a retail environment. They think I want to do that again. Like, do they not know me? Well, no, they don't know me. They don't know my work history. They don't know what I like. They don't know what I'm good at. And that's what this video is for. And I was getting it all wrong. I was saying these people don't know my worth. I'm worth more than $20 an hour. They need to fix their whatever. No, it's value. What value do I provide? And the skills that go along with the value. So that's my job, is to fix this story that I have linked to my worth with my job, because I have had this issue for a very long time, going back to 2004, 20 years ago, or 2007, I would say 2007. And gosh, I was unemployed for so long and kept on hitting a roadblock, finding these internships that were like, oh yeah, Maine, New York, go to Connecticut, unpaid internship. Couldn't do that. There was no way I can do an unpaid internship. How am I going to do that? How am I going to be able to pay my rent if I had an unpaid internship? There's no way, right? So, and I hit that in 2009 and I hit that in 2011 as well. So I was like, well, gosh, I guess that's for privileged kids that can live at home and can walk to the job in Maine or New York City, and they just walk across the street or take a subway to wherever it is, but they live at home with mommy and daddy and they're rich kids. But I really did a number on myself by attaching my self-worth to how much money I make. And what I found out was this thing perpetuated over the years, wherever I get a customer service job, which you're going to know I'm not good in customer service. I'm better with data. I'm better with numbers. And I've noticed that any job that is behind the scenes, I'm happy. I'm really happy. And happy employees are employees that you can retain. Employee retention should be something that's really valued. And unfortunately, I don't think that's valued anymore in companies. I don't think companies really care about employee retention. They just think, "Oh, you're a problem. Oh, you're complaining. Oh, you're complaining about this," like an open door policy with arbitration. And you go to the HR and you tell them that you were harassed by so and so, and oops, you're going to cause a problem. Get rid of her. We can hire someone else because HR protects the company and not the employee. Um, and I can see throughout my life all those jobs that I had where I was behind the scenes, I was happier, with the exception of RGIS when I was working for them uh, back in, I don't know when it was, at 2015, 2016 or something like that. And I was like, I can't squat. Um, but I can kneel, but I can't squat low. But you have to do that in these retail stores to count with the little counter thing on their arm. And then I was desperate in 2023, so I went to RGIS before going to H&R Block, and that was behind the scenes, but I didn't really enjoy it. But early on in my career in the 1990s, I really enjoyed all those other jobs that I've had behind the scenes. And that should be something to look at for recruiters and hiring managers. They should really care about where their employees are happy and using their skills. And it's sad because I don't really see this happening. In the 1990s, it happened where staffing agencies will give people a chance, and I got my foot in the door into HR offices. I got my foot in the door in purchasing offices in like 2004. I was able to get my foot in the door to these offices and do basic data entry work. But everything seemed to change right around maybe 2009, 2011. Things really started to change right around there, and we had the housing crash in 2008. So um, I don't think too many employers were hiring in 2008, but um, it's been a while since I've been around anybody that's been trained or working with children with autism. But about 20 years ago, I was told from a friend, he said, I see traits of Asperger's syndrome in you. I don't have Tony Atwood's books, guys, anymore. I threw them away or I gave them away. I want to say 2018 or before. My mom died in 2018 before COVID. So it was either 2018 or before I got rid of every single Tony Atwood book I ever had. And I think I had about 6 to 8 Tony Atwood books. Fascinating author. I love Tony Atwood. I love him. I love research. I love reading about research. I love data. I actually enjoy reading more than YouTube, like watching podcasts on YouTube. And I think I might read more instead of doing the YouTube podcast thing. But I've been told by several people, like professionals, you do not have Asperger's syndrome. I'm like, really? You want to come over sometime and follow me to work and see how I am with nonverbal cues or whatever. And part of knowing your skill set is knowing who you are and what value you bring and how you bring it to the employer. So I'm gonna share some stories with you. Um, this was so stupid, but this happened. It was way back in like 2005 or something like that. Um, his office, it was a real estate office, and he had two receptionists there that were answering phones, but they didn't just answer phones. It was me and another girl. And they needed somebody there 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the Pacific Coast because all their clients were on the East Coast. So 5 a.m. Pacific was 8 a.m. Eastern. But for some reason, they didn't hire us 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. They were hiring us like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. or 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. because by 3 p.m. it was like 6 over there on the East Coast, and they didn't have any phone calls at that time. They didn't have any clients at that time. So the job was, I don't know what software it was, but it was something for real estate agents. And it was really simple. Okay, guys, I'm really good on computer. You want somebody really good on a computer? Hire me. So I was dropping information here and there, organizing information on this computer or software. And they expected me to answer the phone. And when the phone wasn't ringing, I was expected to get this pile of files. And they had several different real estate agents in the office. And some of them were there and some of them weren't because they were in the field. And it was my job to go through these papers, right? And oh, this is Christina's. Find Christina's file cabinet, wherever it was in the office, get up, walk over there, drop it in the file, and put it in the correct space. Well, this is 2005. There was it wasn't a cordless phone, it was a corded phone. So the minute I would get up to walk over to where the file cabinet was, the phone rang. So I'd put the stuff down and I'd walk back to the phone and I'd go, okay, let me take a message, da 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 da, put the message, do. There's the message, hang up, get the file, go back to the file, go back to, okay, Christina, okay. The minute I was almost there, the minute I hit C, just to find Christina, the phone rang. Had to put the stuff down. So all I did was going back. Well, I'm not your bitch, okay? If there is an office that is like that, to where I need to take a pile of paperwork and I need to answer the phone, I don't care if I have Asperger's syndrome or not. I'm not your little bitch. I am not going to do that. You either give me a pile of paperwork and somebody else answers the phone, or I answer the phone while somebody else files the paperwork, because I am not going to be going back and forth, answer the phone, put it down, go back, and not be able to file the paperwork and leave the paperwork. And I even said this to the person, I believe it was Desi Arnaz. I will never forget it. I was like, are you related to Lucille Ball? Are you sure? The guy was Desi Arnaz, and he owned his own real estate company. And this was like 2005. And I said, look, it's either I'm gonna walk back and forth whenever I need to. I'll stay over there and drop these files in and make sure all these files, somebody else get the phone for an hour or two, and I just drop these files in, or I answer the phone for an hour or two while somebody else takes care of these files, or I take care of these files at the end of the day and I answer the phones, and I'm not going to go back and forth. I said, you choose. Apparently, they didn't like that. They didn't like that at all, because I'm not putting up with that. I'm almost 50. At the time, I was like 27, 28. And I remember they said something like, we would really like one of you to come in earlier to answer the phones at 5 a.m. because we got clients over there on the East Coast. And I was shaking my head, yes. And then he said, but we're really interested in people coming in on board, learning how to be a real estate agent. And all I said was, that's interesting. Okay. I mean, I was interested in coming in at 5 a.m. That was fine. But at 28, they don't know who I was. And I wasn't there yet with that. I was just kind of getting off of the whole Baptist bullshit train that I was on with Hyles Anderson College. And, you know, I don't know exactly when this was, because I left Hyles Anderson College in Crown Point, Indiana when it was 2001. So I believe this job was 2004 or 2005, but I wasn't in a space for me to say, yeah, I'm interested in becoming a real estate agent. No, I wasn't there yet, but I was there to say, yes, I'm interested in coming in at 5 a.m. And apparently they liked the other person and they kept her and they let me go. But, maybe it's because I spoke up and said, I'm not doing this back and forth thing. Answer the phone. When the phone's done ringing, you expect me to leave the phone and then go back. And the minute I get to the whatever to drop the files in, I'm walking back. And now all I'm doing is walking back and forth and nothing is getting done. I'm not doing that. I provide more value than that. And I provide more value than a fast food burger flipper. And I'm not a good fit for a burger flipper. Just like a barista at a Starbucks, it takes working memory. It takes a lot of sensory, and it's a sensory overload for people with Asperger's syndrome. Like I said, I've been told by many professionals, Sandra, you do not have Asperger's syndrome. And every time, well, I haven't had this conversation with anybody in the last 4 or 5 years. I'm going to say I dropped the Asperger story. I probably dropped the autism, Asperger, non-neurotypical story probably around 2018, 2019. I dropped it. I believed it for a very long time, but people have told me you do not have it. And I'm like, then what the fuck is my problem? What the fuck is my problem? Why is this shit happening to me? Maybe I am. Maybe I do have Asperger's syndrome and people just can't see it because I am a female. And I don't really care. I don't, I've moved past the labels, but with the Panera Bread, because I worked for Panera Bread for a little bit and it didn't work out. I was desperate at the time. My landlord said, why don't you work at Panera Bread? Our daughter works there. And of course I was thinking, well, I'm not your daughter. Great for her if it works out for her, but I'm not your daughter. That's what I was thinking. And I applied twice. I think I applied to like one in Lake Elsinore or Wildemar, and they had some 16 or 18-year-old kid and they hired them. Of course, they were going to hire them and not me because they were young and they had no experience and they wanted to mold them. And I get it. You want somebody young that you can mold, but it's kind of a catch 22 when you're 48 or 40 years old, because they kind of want somebody that's young that they can mold and train, but they say they want somebody experienced. But when you come in experienced, they're like, oh, you're over experienced. You have over qualifications. Nah, man. I get it now, man. They think I'm fucking old, man. I'm sorry, but 48's not dead in the grave. God forbid I turn 52 or 55. God forbid I'm still working at 55. And God forbid I come in and somebody that's 25 years old interviews me. God forbid that they look at my ID and they take a copy of it and they go, 75. Oh my gosh, how old is this person? And then they do the math and they go, oh my God, this person is 55. I mean, do I really look 48? No, I know I don't. I know I don't look 48, but I have a lot of experience. And now I'm starting to see that people don't really want what they say they want. They want somebody just smart enough to do the job, but not too smart, because they're afraid you'll just take their job, or you'll take a job above them. And people value their job. They value it. They are basing their value and their worth based upon their income. And they don't want that pay cut. They don't want somebody new coming in above them. or working really good and doing really good. To me, that's just an oxymoron. To me, I would think you would want somebody on your team that works really good, and if they're good at this, and this, well, shit, man, I see that you're good at this, and this, but you're not good at this, and this. And you know what? We have a position, and I think you would excel, and I think you would make really good money. And I think this would be really good for you. And if it's good for you, if it makes you happy, then it's going to bring people into the business. You're going to be a magnet for business. Customers are going to come in, regardless if you're in a customer service role or not. It's not going to matter, because if you're working in manufacturing or packing or a forklift driver, or you're a welder, it doesn't, or a plumber, doesn't matter. If you love your job, it's going to fan out in all areas of your life, and you will just become this energy source of love. And if you hate your job, it's going to affect everything in your job. And you would think the hiring managers and recruiters would understand this, but they don't. They don't. They don't care. They don't care at all. And when I was that person at Panera Bread, I was like, I'm letting you guys know I'm not a good fit for this drive-through thing, because at Panera Bread with the drive-through, they have their bagels and their muffins and their cookies way over there. You're over here. Thank you for choosing Panera Bread. How may I take your order? Okay. And you're doing this, and you're punching in. You want this? Okay. You want that bagel? You want that bagel? Okay. You want this cookie? You want that? Okay. You want this drink? You want that drink? Now you got to remember it. You are no longer at that computer. You do not have a notepad to write down how many bagels they want, what kind. You want this drink? Oh, you want a large macaroni and cheese, and you want a soup, and you wanted this, and you wanted that. You have to go over there and remember all the cookies and all the breads and all the pastries that they wanted, and hurry up and put them in a bag, and then get all the stuff, which usually the cook will cook the macaroni and cheese or the sandwiches, or whatever. They'll do that part, but it's your job to remember all the cookies and all the cakes and all the pastries over there. There is no notepad to write it down. And then come back and quickly do that, and then quickly tell them how much it is, and say, okay, your total is blah 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 blah, or let me go get you. And you would say something like, let me go get your cookie, or let me see if we have those cookies in stock, hold on just a second. You take your headset off, and you would walk over and say, okay, we do not have any more of those cookies. Is there something else that you would like? That is a lot to remember with somebody with Asperger's syndrome. Okay, and now I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. Is it called neurodivergent something or another? I don't know, because the DSM-5, and there's going to be a DSM-6, and there's going to be a DSM-10, and we're going to just label everybody with a mental illness. Okay, we're just going to label everybody so psychiatrists can have a field day on me. I'm not taking any medicines, guys. I'm anti-psychiatry, so I'm not taking any medications. They really messed me up. So but it would be the same if I was like a barista at Starbucks. It is too much people interaction. It is too much to remember. There's too many moving parts. That is working memory. It's very fast paced. Now, I'm not saying people with Asperger's syndrome can't work in a fast paced environment. They can. If they were just answering the phones, or just do this data entry, enter in all these numbers, and make sure they match, and don't mess up. We got to make sure they match, and you can't mistype. Okay. But if you're asking someone with Asperger's syndrome, I need you to type fast. I need you to match the numbers. They can't be any errors. You need to be fast, and you need to answer the phone, and you need to get these people coming in the front door. So now you can't, okay, okay, how can I help you? Da-da-da. Okay, I got somebody in front of me. Can you hold on for a minute? Click. Okay, doing that makes me irritated, and I don't have patience because I can't finish a job. So I want to finish this, but I can't because I got somebody coming in. And then I've had this happen before. They would say, "Why aren't you getting this done?" Well, you did ask me to take care of the customer coming in. So which one do you want me to do? The customer or this? Which one do you want me to do? Tell me. That has happened before. I don't have the patience. And I am not afraid to say who I am. I'm not afraid. If you don't like me, fine. Just say I don't like your attitude. Fine. I'm sure you'll find a 25-year-old kid that will be able to do it all and be able to run circles around me and be able to do one-handed data entry while talking to this person out of the corner of their eye, and then grow a tail and be on the phone with them and saying, "Yes, I can do that. Yes, I hear, okay," and then still do the data entry. And they'll be able to do that. Just run circles around me. If there's a 25-year-old kid that can grow a tail, answer the phone, do that, do the data entry with one hand and take care of the customer in front of them, more power to you. That's not me. That's not me. I'm not going to work at a Starbucks as a barista. That's not me. And somebody recently asked me, she goes, "What are you going to do now? Work at fast food?" And I went, "Fast food? Why the hell would I do that?" Maybe she knows people that work at fast food, but I took it personally. I took that personally, and it had nothing to do with me, guys. That shit had nothing to do with me. And I'm learning now through all these experiences, I'm learning some prejudice that I have. I'm like, holy shit, I'm prejudiced. I am. There's this big one, like lack of compassion or lack of understanding or just judgmentalness, big time. Um, I don't know if it's because of the class that I'm in or if it's the stuff I'm reading. Maybe it's a combination of everything. Maybe it's a combination of the stuff that I'm reading, and my experiences, things that are going like the I'm doing shadow work, and I'm seeing now. I don't know. I guess it's a prejudice, or if it's a prejudice, then it's a self hate thing too, because all those jobs that I took before that I hated, fast food wasn't a good experience, not a good fit, hated it. Uh Customer service with the homeless people that were mentally ill, and I got burnt out within 6 months. I was burnt out, and I was like, I'm not doing this shit. I did it for 2 years, 24 hours a week, 2 years. And that was fucking shit, man. Getting treated like shit, no protection. There was no way to protect me. So if somebody came in with a gun, there was no way for me to know. And I was the only staff member in the room. So, there was no protection. If somebody came in with knives, there was no protection at all. None. So, yeah. So I can't even think of the stuff that I went through in 2016 to 2018 at that particular company. Um, because there was just no physical protection. There was no way to protect myself. And I felt very scared within 3 or 4 days of being hired. I was very scared of what would happen to me. I thought these people are going to go off on me, and it was my job to ask that question. Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? They didn't like that question, but it was required of me. I was just doing my job, I think now I would want some type of football gear or something like that to protect my head and to protect my body, so I wouldn't get hit. But employers should really care about a good fit. And if they see that there's some type of skills that's not being used, they should try to make sure that those skills are being used by that person. Because if your employees aren't happy, they're not going to be a really good resource for your company and they're not going to bring in, why not make your employees happy? Why not find a good place for them to be? Because I'm I'm not going to be in customer service unless it's like, I don't know, for a hip hop company, or you know, I don't know, Kim Amani. I mean, I've said it before many times that I'm working on my self-worth, and I already did videos about the vagina and how it's connected to the throat and it's connected to the heart chakra, and the throat, the vocal cords look like the vagina and the bridge is the heart. And I don't know if I talked about raising my kundalini or not, but I did. I believe I did. Um, Around the 8th or 7th of February. And it was right after a Reiki share because I got Reiki 1 certified back in uh, the first weekend of February. That weekend, I think it was the 3rd or 4th. And then there was a Reiki share. And then I did some Reiki on myself. And during the Reiki share, I felt that energy come up through the first chakra to the second to the third. And it was like strings being pulled on my third chakra, but I felt it on my heart as well. I'm like, oh my God, the third chakra is being activated right now and being cleared. And then I went home that night. And then it was like the next day, it was like February 5th or 6th. I felt it. I was doing Reiki on myself. I'm Reiki 1 certified. I'm not 2 yet. I need $300 to be able to get that Reiki 2 certification by June 1st. And I need it. $20 an hour. I ain't gonna cut it. That ain't gonna cut it, guys. It's not $20 an hour. I'm not a kid living with mommy and daddy. I'm not. But I believe I raised my kundalini because I was like, this feels like an orgasm in my third chakra. And then it went up and it was going up to my fourth chakra, my heart chakra. And I was like, holy Moses, I think I'm raising this kundalini. And I could feel it move through my body as I moved my hands up and down. I can feel it. It felt like a chord, like a violin chord or a guitar being plucked. And I was like, whoa, that is something where you can feel something inside move. And it's like nothing else. It's like nothing else I've ever felt before. So, probably a good idea to spend more time with Reiki. And I mean more than 10 or 15 minutes a day. I'm talking about 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the afternoon, or 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes before I go to bed. But I am aware that I am doing a very bad disservice to myself because now I'm aware of what I'm doing and what I'm saying in my head about other people. Like, why would I want to work in fast food? I'm not stupid. So by saying that, I believe that other people that are working in fast food, they're stupid idiots. And by saying that, I'm saying I'm a stupid idiot too. And then why would I want to work in retail? Why would I want to be a cashier? I'm not a stupid idiot. So here I am doing it again. It's like all this projection and it's coming back to me. And I'm like, oh, do you think if you're a cashier, you're stupid? Do you think if you're a cashier, you're worthless? Do you think if you're a cashier, you don't mean anything? Are you saying that they don't have lives that mean anything? Are you saying that they're stupid? You're saying that they're really dumb idiots if they're a cashier. Maybe they're doing it because they can't find anything else. And nobody is willing to hire them to train them in a better job because I just don't see it, guys. I don't see it happening. I did in 2004. I did in 2008. I saw this kind of stuff happening when I came back from Bible college in 2001. In staffing agencies, would give me a chance. Around 2008, the job market kind of is difficult to get a job. I think the tutoring in 2000, was it 2011, 2012? 2011, 2012 was like a tutoring job. It was my first job after 2007, 2008. All that crash and everything was horrible. But early 2000s, I was given a chance. And I have this false belief, guys. I do. I have this false belief that somebody gave someone a chance. I've talked to recruiters before. I'm going to say 2019, 2020, 2018, somewhere around there. And they'd say, "Are you bilingual?" And I'd say no. And they go, "Oh, you need to be bilingual for this." And I'm like, "Okay. If I was bilingual, then what?" And they go, "Well, do you have experience as a recruiter?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And they go, "You don't have any experience as a recruiter." And I go, "Well, were you always a recruiter?" "No." "How did you become a recruiter if you didn't have experience?" "Someone gave me a chance." "Oh, someone gave you a chance. So you mean someone gave you an actual choice?" And they go, "I came in as a receptionist and then they saw I was good and then they gave me a chance." And I go, "So someone gave you a choice. They said, 'Here you go. We see you're good at this and we'd like to offer you a job as a recruiter.' And they just gave it to you. They said, 'Here, do you want it or not?' But you didn't have any experience." They said, "Yep, I did not have any experience." And I go, "But you expect me to have experience, right?" So somebody gave you an edge. Someone gave you a handout and said, "Here," but you're not willing to do that to me. This is the false belief. Everybody is given a chance, but Sandra Gregston is not given any chances. She's never given a chance. Well, if I want my story to change, I better change the story and start believing that people are giving me a chance. Why should I be struggling at $20 an hour when there are people that are recruiters that are making 25 an hour and they do not have a master's degree? They don't. I need to dumb down my resume and look stupid, or look, for lack of a better word, not stupid, but look like I know what I'm doing, but don't look too smart and don't look too old. I don't know how I age myself on a resume because I don't have jobs on there to go back to 2016. I don't have jobs on there to go back to 2014 or 2011. I think the last job was 2020 or something like that, or 2019, something like that. But and I've edited my resume so many times. I really don't need 50, 100, or 50,000 resumes for each job I apply to. It's a nightmare. It was not like this in the 1990s. And I think AI has just made it so much harder to get jobs, to where the HR person doesn't even know what to look for on a resume. If they were hiring a welder, the welding supervisor would know what kind of experience the person would need. But the HR or the recruiter hiring a welder wouldn't know what the hell to look for on a resume at all. They wouldn't know. So it's sad that AI is taking over, but I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that all of that is my responsibility. What I just told you is my responsibility. It is not my responsibility to tell atheists how I know, or not know, but how I believe in God, or what you can call it the field of intelligence if you want, or the field of love, or you can call it the field of dreams if you want. Kevin Costner. I believe in the field of dreams and Kevin Costner, and I believe in the field of love, the field of intelligence. that quantum field. It's not my job to tell anybody how I believe because I don't know. I'm an agnostic theist. I do not know that there's a God, but I believe in one, and I don't believe I'm doing any harm in believing it. I'm not telling anybody to go rape people. I'm not telling anybody to go kill someone. And I'm not like the Scientologist that told that woman that she couldn't go to any doctor and she had to go to a Scientologist doctor and she died. She didn't make it because she was told, and everybody around her was like, no, 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 she's got to go to a Scientology doctor. No, no, no. And she fucking died. She didn't make it because she didn't get to a regular doctor in time. It's horrible. Her life could have been saved. So I'm reading Soul Money by Lynn Twist, and this story about compassion is in there on chapter 2. Here's Soul Money by Lynn Twist, and I'm almost on chapter 3, and then I'm reading Spiritual Economics for the 4th time since I don't know. I think the first time I picked it up was February or March 2023. So I'm reading it for the fourth time. I want to say fourth time, not third time. And then I'm reading Sonia Ray. I'm done with it now. Sonia Renee Taylor's Body, the book. The Body is Not an Apology. This was a very heavy book. And it was a lot of work to do, like within the community. Like she gives examples of how you can change hearts and what you can do, not just with yourself, but with other people to not look at your body with shame. And there's a lot of systems that are set up in this world. There's a lot of systems. Ageism is one of them. Ageism, it goes into ageism, but it also goes into abilityism. It goes into fat phobia. It goes into homophobia or transphobia. This goes into so many different systems of what we think a perfect body is and what we don't. And I'm hoping that maybe somebody, I haven't researched it, maybe there is, but somebody can kind of take her work and just expand it on ageism, because I don't think it's really fair to people that are in their 40s, especially women. I don't know if men have this problem. Men over 40, do they have a problem getting jobs? I don't know, but for some reason women are expected to look young and beautiful all the time. And if they age, oh, God forbid they're working. God forbid you're 52 and you're working full time. You're not retired yet. Do you really expect women to be 52 and retired? I mean, unless you're rich, unless you have a rich sugar daddy, or you're a lesbian and you have a rich sugar mama, or you have a really good retirement plan where you could retire when you're 40 and you were really smart in your 20s and you put a lot of money away for that retirement plan, and nope, you're 50, now you can retire. You can't live on Social Security, guys. My mom made $1,200 a month on Social Security, and that was her husband's Social Security. She went on her husband's Social Security, and she waited until she was 62. But he died when she was 52. So he died, my mom went to work. And my mom worked hard for her money. She worked hard for her money. And she kept that job at Oak Grove for 8 years. One job, 8 years, and she just quit. She was just, I can't do this anymore. I can't compete with the 20-year-olds. I'm too old. I just can't do it. My mom put in a long battle with Oak Grove in Marietta, California. And 3 years after that, my mom died. She retired in 2000. Was 13? Was it 13, 14, 15, 16, 5 years after? Maybe it was 5 years. Maybe it was 5 years after she retired. She died because she died in 18. Yeah, I think she retired in 2018. I mean, retired in 2013. And wow, sometimes I wonder, looking at my mom and knowing who she is, if she had Asperger's syndrome, because there was things that she was really good at, and then there was things that she didn't really understand. But I mean, she did have Alzheimer's, undiagnosed. It was undiagnosed for a very long time and didn't get diagnosed until 2018. So she didn't get the help, and I didn't get the help I needed. I needed help, and I didn't get the help. And that's one thing employers do not understand is when you do not have friends and you do not have neighbors and they speak Spanish and you speak English and you have a family member that has undiagnosed Alzheimer's, you're not going to bring strangers in the house to watch your mom. Even if your mom didn't have Alzheimer's disease, even if your mom had cancer, let's say your mom had cancer or something else, her mind was there. If your neighbor spoke Spanish and you spoke English and you didn't really know anything about Spanish other than hi, how are you? Siéntese. Bienvenidos, me llamo Sandra, ¿cómo se llama? You know, that's about it. Siéntese, muévete, corazón, cabeza, corazón, rojo, ojo. ¿Cómo se dice, I'd like to go to sleep now in Espanol? You know, that's about it. That's my Spanish. And that's all you know. And you know your neighbors speak Spanish and you don't talk to them. And they don't talk to you. And if you do talk to them, it's once or twice a year, and that's it. You don't know them. You talk to them once or twice a year. They speak a lot of Spanish. Are you going to bring them over? Hi, Mr. So and so. I don't really know you very well. Can you watch my mom for 7 or 8 hours a day while I go to work? I leave at 6:10 in the morning, but I won't be back until 5:30 or 5 or 4:30 in the afternoon. Can you watch her for free? Yeah, for free. I don't have any money to pay you. You're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. And doctors didn't even understand. They were like, don't you have friends? I'm like, no, I don't. Sorry. I don't have friends. And if I do, which I did, but they weren't there. They were like out of state. So, I was like, I do have a friend, just one friend. She's out of state. So I can't have her come over. So I asked my neighbor. I did. I asked my neighbor. And I said, I know that you're sick and I know that you're not well. I said, I need someone to watch my mom while I go to work. And I said, I leave at 6:10 in the morning. I don't get home until like 4:30 or 5. I said, I work a full shift. I work 7 a.m. to like 4 p.m. or something like that. And it was in Riverside and it took me 45 minutes to get home. She didn't know how bad it was. But my mom did not have cancer. I mean, she did, but it wasn't what killed her. It was the Alzheimer's. I went back over to Rosie's home. Her name, it wasn't Rosie, it was Rosie's neighbor. I can't remember her name. But anyways, Rosie's neighbor. And she said, I'm sorry, Sandra, I can't watch your mom anymore. And I go, I know it's tough. I said, it's tough. She goes, I had no idea this is what you were dealing with. And I go, this is what I deal with every day, every single day. And I go, what happened? And she said, your mom was confused. She didn't know where she was. She kept on saying, I need to leave. And then she would sit down for 15 minutes. And then she would say, I got to get up again. And I go, yeah. And I say, yeah. She was probably scared, didn't know her surroundings, wanted to know why she wasn't home, didn't know whose home she was in. And she goes, the lady was like, I kept on trying to tell her, your daughter's at work. I'm watching you. You're safe. And I go, my mom didn't understand. She goes, no, your mom did not understand. Your mom didn't understand at all, but you were at work. She didn't know who I was, and it was just my mom was a constant wreck, like getting up. I need to go, sitting down. Okay, I'll sit down. And then 10 minutes later, I got to get up, go to the bathroom, get up, sit down. Constant, just nonstop. Um, and the lady couldn't take it, but I had to have somebody watch my mom. I had to. And because that diagnosis didn't come in until 10 days after before my mom's death, it was like 10 or 11 days before my mom's death, IHSS thought I was neglecting my mom. She thought I wasn't feeding her, and I was. And I was like, okay, there you go, Mom. There's your food. Bye. See you later. Go to work. I'd come back. Food wasn't eaten. Half of the food was eaten. I'd check my mom's mouth, and the food was stuck in her, And I go, what's this? She goes, I don't know. And I go, you didn't chew your food? And this is like 3 months before she died. 2 or 3 months before she died, my mom was not chewing her food, but I didn't know it until after the fact. And nobody tells you this stuff. They think it's just getting them in the shower, wiping their butt, standing them up, putting their socks and shoes on, and going to the store for them. No, man. It was me trying to go to bed at night, finding my alarm clock in the hamper. It was in the hamper. Like my alarm clock would be in my room at 2 or 3 or 4 in the afternoon. But by the time I go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, after caring for my mom, I go to bed at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. Where is that alarm clock? In the hamper. And I would have to go all over the house looking for an alarm clock. Oh, in the hamper. Or something like, I don't know, a toothbrush. Where was that? In the refrigerator, or under a bed or something, or on the floor, or under a pillow, or stuff like that. Like, I don't know where your soy milk is. Find it in the cupboard. I'm sure there's times where I was looking for something like a pen and it was in the microwave. So those little things that you need, and you're like, I really need this pen. I really need this thing. And I can't find this thing. It could be a thumb drive, which it never was, but you get my drift. Can you imagine finding a thumb drive in the microwave? And you need it because it has a document on it, or it has something on it that you need. And doctors don't understand this, and employers don't understand it either. They think everybody has friends or family, and that is simply not true. I did not have friends or family, and it drove me up a wall because I couldn't get away. I was torn between going to work, which was not caretaking. It was like caretaking. I would consider it babysitting adults, but I had no protection. And I was just sitting there watching homeless adults watch them, because we had to watch them. It was a liability. They had to have some staff member watch them. But it was also not safe for me to be in that environment. I did that for 2 years, guys. My mom was dying in 2016. My mom was dying in 2015 when I was working at Western Southern Life with the life insurance company. And it was commission only. It was $600 a week for 6 weeks. And after that, I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't do it. There was no way. I was like, you want me to what? I was like, do you think I'm getting $600 from somewhere else? You cut that $600 commission off. What was it? A gas stipend. I said, you cut that off for me. I'm not going to have any money for gas to go wherever I need to go. And I didn't really get the support I needed from the other, I guess we would call my upline. It was a W-2 job, but for lack of a better word, my upline, my supervisor and his supervisor, they didn't really support me with leads, and they expected me to buy leads, and I wasn't told that on the interview. But my mom was dying in 2015. That was like October of 2015. And I didn't know that my mom was dying slowly because I was gone. I think I clocked in at 5 a.m. A work computer. They gave me a VPN, and I had a work computer, and I did 20 hours of training. So I got on the computer at 5 a.m. I left at 7. I got to the office by 7:45 to do whatever. I wasn't supposed to be there till 9, but I got there like 7:45 or 8. And I was just doing the training before I had to be there for 9 o'clock for regular work. And then I'd get home at 6. So I was leaving. I was on the computer at 5. I was working at 5, clocked in at 5 at home, and then clock out for my drive up there, and then clock back in at 7:45. And then I would get home like 6. So here I am from 5 a.m. to 6 p.m. working Monday through Friday. And my mom was dying during that time. I didn't even know who my mom was because I was always working. And it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse, and it got worse. So, and I don't know why these employers expect people to be working every single fucking day of our lives. I don't have children. I'm old enough to have a 30-year-old kid, but I don't. But there are a lot of people that I know that do have children. I have a friend. She's like 37. She has 3 kids. Her youngest is 5 or 6. Her oldest is like 11 or 12, And I have another friend. She has kids. I don't know how old they are, and they're both in their 30s, and I'm thinking, what do these employers expect? Some people want to take time off of their job, and if they're lucky enough, they have a spouse, either a wife or a husband, working to support them, and they can do that, but these employers, they think, oh, you have a gap. Well, do you expect people to be working every fucking day of their lives from 18 to 65? Some people want to take time off to watch their children grow. And if they're blessed enough to do that, then great. Not everybody's blessed enough to do that. I would love to be able to fix my money story. I would love to be able to fix my value story and not attach my worth to how much money I make, and not attach my worth to that job. Totally went off topic. I told you about Panera Bread, and I told you about Desi Arnaz and the real estate. That was back in like 2004 or 2005. And the Panera Bread was like, I don't know, was it 2021? I was desperate, guys, in those days. I will never work for a fast food restaurant again. And before, let me say this, before 2001, I never worked in a fast food company before, ever. My first job was as security. I didn't need a guard card. I was a security guard at Tyler Galleria Mall in 1993. And then from there, I went in. No, my first job was sales, commission only, $1 per application. If that application was not filling full, I did not get my dollar. That was it, $1 per application. If that application was not signed, they didn't have their name, they didn't have their employer, SSI, retirement, how much money, they didn't have how much income or anything like that, I did not get my dollar. So that turned out to be a joke real quick. And I found out within 6 to 8 weeks, this is a joke. And I went to the security company. And yeah, wow, there is a big pattern. Even with that job when I was 18, fresh out of high school, I guess I appeared to be really smart. And they said they were hiring me for like a temp. What do you call those things? Not temp, seasonal like type. Like when they were like, "Oh, you're just here because so and so's pregnant." Oh, or maybe they said sick leave. They said you're just covering someone here for sick leave. Okay. It was 3 months. It was like the day after Christmas. I lost my job, and I think they made up a they made up a story. I think they made up a story. There's a lot. I'm seeing a lot of patterns that are coming up now over the years. And I remember the very first time it happened in 1993. And I was like, why am I being fired? And they were like, we don't know, Sandra. You're the one that comes in, you stay late, you come early, you're always here on time. You called in the fire. You saw the fire at the Disney store. It was outside in the trash can. You called that in. You're always here. You turn your stuff in on time. You request a break on time. When you're done with your break, you call it in. You turn your paperwork in. You're they were like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right, fine. They're firing me. Okay, here you go. And it was like a 3-day suspension, and then boom, come in, drop off your badge or your badge or whatever. I don't know what it was, but no guard card, didn't need one. No handcuffs, didn't need one. Radio, but it wasn't mine. It was the company's. And I had to learn the codes 2010, 2020, and all that 2010 or 10.5 or 25 or whatever. I had to remember all the codes. But there's a pattern. And I'm seeing this pattern. If you appear smarter than you need to be, they don't want you on the team because they're afraid. And that's really sad. You would think that if the recruiter or the marketing, not the hiring manager, like your boss, right? Your boss saw you were really good at something in a skill set and said, man, she excels in this. Let's get her in that department. Let's get her over there. She would do really good. You would think common sense. It's like common sense went out the window. It's like everybody under 35 is like a ding dong. They're like a ditz. I don't get it. You would think if somebody is really good at something, that company, that boss would say, let's get her in the position. Let's get her in. Let's get her in over there because she would excel. She would do really good. No, she'll take my job. We can't. She's too smart. She'll pull a blah blah blah. She'll pull a this. She'll do that. She's too smart. She knows the laws. Don't do that. We got to get rid of her. That's what I see. I literally see that everywhere. I'm a religious scientist. People are going to be like, what? Ernest Holmes. I'm still trying to find out if this is my true calling. If Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, which is also religious science, and it's not Christian Science. That's Mary Baker Eddy, I believe her name is. So Ernest Holmes is the founder of religious science and the science of mind. And I'm still trying to find out where, like, do I want to continue on this route? But basically, whatever you focus on is what you get. Whatever you focus on is, what you're expanding in your life. And if I'm going to continue to think that people are not fair, and if I'm going to continue to think that HR recruiters, talent management, hiring managers, oh, you don't have experience, but somebody gave you experience. Yeah, I was a blah, 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 and somebody saw I had these skills and they gave me, or I had this job and then that job was eliminated. And then HR said, you're now this. And so your position title just changed, basically. Yeah, I was doing the same thing, but the title just changed. Oh, okay, I see. Or yeah, somebody would say, "Oh, I was hired as a receptionist, and they saw this and this and this, and they gave me the job in recruiter." Oh, so somebody gave you a choice, and somebody gave you a chance. Yeah, but they're not giving me a chance. As long as I continue to think that, guess what? That's what's going to come into my reality. It's going to be perpetuating. And that's the work I need to work on, is changing that story. So much has changed in the last year. I'm so amazed. I don't know who's going to listen to this for an hour and 10 minutes, but um I need to get better at doing lives. And the first thing I'm going to do, guys, the very first thing I'm going to do when I get hired full time, because I need a job that pays me $30 an hour. That is the value that I provide to employers. It's not my worth. My worth is way more than $30 an hour. My worth is basically unlimited, but my value is limited. I'm going to say $30 an hour. So somewhere around $1,200 a week. That's what I should be paid. $1,200 a week. Something like that. But yeah, my worth is not tied to my income. If I believe that my worth is tied to my income, then I will believe I'm worthless when I'm unemployed, which is not true. I'm not worthless. But I'm also not anybody's bitch. I'm not going to go back and forth and just, go. It's either I do that one thing or I do that one thing. I'm not going to be this with the two other hands and, you know, like I was I was a dispatcher for 2 weeks, and I was lied to. It was a small company. It was only like 4 employees. Wife, husband team owned the company. One guy was doing the driving around the HVAC, and me. And then I think 2 other people were like not there yet, or maybe they were part-time or something. I never saw them. But one guy was going around. He was the guy that installed the HVACs. I was the one that did the dispatch and answered the phones, but it was a cordless landline. So I was told on the interview, "Oh, don't worry about the phone ringing. If you have to go to the bathroom, I'll take the phone." Bullshit. I believed her. It was fucking bullshit. After 3 or 4 days, I knew that somebody wasn't getting the phones when I went to the bathroom. They expected me to take the phone to the bathroom and answer the phone when I'm going to the bathroom, when I'm taking a shit, or when I'm peeing. And then they had 2 cameras. They said they weren't working. I think they were. They said they're not working. They're not on. We have 2 cameras. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. But they expected me to eat there at the, at the computer, and they expected me to answer the phone while I was eating. So I was like shoving food in my mouth and going blah 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 blah. I wasn't doing a salary. It was fucking crazy, and I've seen women do that, to where they're shoving food in their mouth and then answering the phone as they have food in there. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? I am not doing that. If you think I am, you got another thing coming. I will leave my computer and eat somewhere else, and then you can hire someone else. If you can't afford me the decency to go off site and eat in the lunchroom or eat in my car or smoke a cigarette and away from that computer, if you don't have the decency to give me that right, I'm not going to work for you. Because either you have the phones off for an hour while I go for a break, or you hire someone else for that hour when I'm gone, and then when I can come back and I can answer the phone. Because that company, they fired me after 2 weeks, which I'm glad, but I shouldn't have put up with it that long. And everybody knows when you quit a job, you don't get unemployment. So I was like, well, I can't quit. I have to let them fire me. And it was horrible, because I was lied to on the interview. Oh, don't worry. If you need to go to the bathroom, if you need to eat lunch, somebody will answer the phone. The wife didn't answer the phone. She didn't. They were like party animals, and they didn't care. And I was crying on the phone. I was literally crying on the phone to a customer. And I remember calling everybody back because my boss yelled at me. He was like, "You need to call everybody back. You missed several phone calls." Yeah, I was in the bathroom taking a piss. That's what I did. I went in the bathroom. Or, maybe they didn't tell me the sound for somebody on hold on line 2 or something. I don't know. But I called everybody back, and I remember crying to somebody, and he was like, "Sandra, why are you crying?" And I go, "Because I just got yelled at from the boss because I missed your phone call." And he goes, "I called you 3 hours ago, and you called me back an hour ago when we already spoke, and you did fine." He goes, "I don't know why you're crying." And I go, "I just told you. I was yelled at because I missed your call, and I was told call all these people back." He goes, "But you already called me back an hour ago." And I go, "Well, okay." My boss saw that I missed your call, and he saw that you left a message and wanted to know why I missed your call, because I had to get up and go to the bathroom, or I was on the other line and I didn't get that phone in time, and I was crying. It was horrible. If that's the business you run and you don't have the decency to hire someone else when I am in the bathroom or when I'm on lunch, and you expect me to answer the phone when I have food in my mouth, I don't need to work for you. I don't need to work for that shit. I know my value, and I value myself now. I'm not that stupid girl from whenever that was, 2020, 2021. I don't know what year that was, but I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take that kind of treatment. I'm not. And I guess sometimes we seem to think that we have to take it, and we don't. We don't have to take it at all. And I don't know why employers, they just changed. Something happened to employers over the years, and they just changed, and I don't get it. I think it's, like I said, I think it's anybody under 35. I don't know what it is. Is it like a work? Is it a work ethic thing, or people don't talk anymore, or is it cell phones and we're all distracted? I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But if you're still listening to this and you're thinking, "Man, I'm a recruiter and she likes to talk. Wow, maybe I should hire her to do this and this because she likes to talk a lot. Wow, we need to hire her on our team because she likes to talk. Yeah, I can do public speaking and announcements. I can do that. I have no problem getting on stage or anything like that. Just an auctioneer, I don't talk that fast. Auctioneer, I don't know if I would be really good with that. But if you're listening to this and you are a recruiter, give people a fucking chance. There's a lot of people out there that have a lot of different skills, and I am not going to stay in customer service just because you think I should stay in customer service. I'm not. Well, you only have customer service, and once you stay there, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I am not going to stay in customer service just because somebody else thinks I should stay there. I'm not doing it. And if that makes me not professional, okay, fine. Fine. I'm so sick of everything. And maybe it's time for me to realize I need to be an entrepreneur and I need to run my own business. And nobody's going to tell me that I can't do this and this and this. I'll learn. Nobody's going to tell me that I can't learn supply chain management. I learned it already in my undergrad. I learned all that inventory, FIFO, LIFO. I learned project management. Project management was my capstone at University of Redlands for my undergrad in business administration. Information systems was the emphasis, but the capstone class was project management. So all that project management stuff I learned. Design and analysis, I learned all that stuff in University of Redlands. So, who's to say that I can't learn this stuff or relearn it or relearn Excel? You know, if employers aren't give me a chance, I'll give me a chance. I'm not giving up on myself. I'm not doing it. And me walking in to saying, "Yeah, I'll do a customer service role." That's shooting myself in the foot. My value is better than that. I love myself too much. I really do. And because I love myself too much, I got to go through these clothes and the clothes out there to see what I like. When you do shadow work, you can get any book. I have two books. I have Existential Kink, and I have another book, and I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember the name of the other shadow work book, but the first one is Existential Kink. When you do shadow work, things are brought to the light. And the biggest thing for me is to work on my self worth and to work on being really compassionate and being that honest self. Why do I view other people as stupid if they work in fast food? Why do I think that those skills are beneath me? A hi, how are you? Or maybe cashiering at Target. Why do I think that is beneath me? What is it about the job that I think is beneath me? What is it about that position that I think is so bad? Is it is it because I'm not using my skills? Is it because it's boring? Is it because it doesn't give me that title that I want? I have to look at it because it can't just be because I think the people are stupid. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. And a lot of people do things, they don't know why they do them. They don't know why they do them at all. So, yeah, that's my homework. 122 an hour and 22 minutes. So 80 minutes. If you're still watching, thank you. But I don't really expect a lot of people be watching for 80 minutes. But um, I don't know who my following is going to be because it seemed to be too out there with the topics. So I already spoke about the vagina and the heart and the throat chakras. I spoke about Reiki on this one. I don't know if I ever did a video on Reiki before. I don't think I have, but I had a following with autism a little bit, and I did some videos about that. But I really had a following when I was an atheist, and the safest place for me to be is an agnostic theist. I believe in something, but I don't know, and I can't prove that there's a God. And but I believe in something, and I don't. It's not the Christian God. It's just something. I don't know what it is. Could be my higher self, but maybe my higher self is an alien. you know, which is very controversial. The whole God is an alien thing is a very controversial thing, which I would love to have a discussion sometime, but not on this video. Maybe some other time I can do that. Green screen. I did say the first thing I'm going to buy is a green screen. When I get hired full time, the first thing I'm buying is a green screen. And I know that I'm going to find a job that's $30 an hour. I know it. I know there's a job out there for me. There's a job out there for me that does something with talking, where I'm going to have to give presentations and talking, because I don't have a problem with getting up there on stage. I don't have a problem with stage and karaoke. I don't have a problem with PowerPoint and doing all that public speaking thing. People go, "Oh no, I can never get up there and do a PowerPoint." All right, let me do it. I'll do it. I can never do the karaoke. Okay, let me get up there and I will introduce and I will MC and I will do all that. Let me do it. I don't need alcohol to do that. So, yeah, um, those are I told you the three books I'm reading the book because I'm done with this. The Body is Not Apology, but it does. I wish it went into ageism more. I really wish it did, but I'm sure there's other books on ageism, and then Soul Money, and then the other one, the Spiritual Economics, and hopefully I'll solve all that money problem, I'll save it because people at my church, they know $20 an hour isn't anything, and I go, well, that's what I was making with commission on top. Some weeks, some pay periods I made 25 an hour. Some pay periods I made $30 an hour because it was commission on top of whatever the 20. So you know, but for my skill set and the level of education I have and how many years of experience I have, I should be doing $30 an hour. Anything less is really not valuing myself. And I can't do that anymore. And I'm hoping that other women see the value in themselves and really dig deep into why they do the things they do. And if you want to know why you do the things you do, get a workbook on shadow work and start on it and go slow. Go slow. I had to take a break doing shadow work because it was so much. I was like, I got to take a break. And you find a good one, it's going to have multiple exercises that you can work on to find out why you have the beliefs you do and all these hidden beliefs that you didn't know you had. You know, you're gonna be like, oh, I didn't know I believed that about money, and oh, I didn't know I believed that about people. So, yeah. Let's see. Today is Wednesday, so maybe I can do another video in 2 weeks. Maybe I can do like a video like every other Wednesday. The only thing is, I would need to be consistent with the topic, and I would need to be very passionate about the topic. And one of the things that I would like to read is about Tantra. There's Tantra sex and there's Tantra yoga. So, yeah, maybe I'll be interested in it. I haven't really studied it, but I have to be consistent if I'm going to grow my channel. So, please be patient while I decide what I'm going to talk about. And there's many different people out there that have a variety of things they talk about. I listen to Brian Scott a lot, and he has a variety of various different topics. They're all like spiritual things, but they're all very different. From Neville Goddard to Quo to reality transurfing and quantum jumping, and there's many different things that Brian Scott will talk about, and his channel is all about spirituality. Very big, broad, but just about spirituality. I don't think maybe he has something about mathematics on his channel. Brian Scott is the Reality Revolution. And you can go to his website, realityrevolution.com. And I'm not getting paid or anything like that by saying his name or anything. There's no affiliate marketing or anything like that. Just to let you know. I don't even know how I would sign up for affiliate marketing. I would have to get a link or something like that. But I do not know yet what my channel is going to become. But it will be looking good when I get that green screen. I tell you that. My channel will be looking good. I turned everything around so you don't see my bed. You don't see the dresser because this is only 450 square feet. This I'm planning on going through in the morning, so that won't be there next time. And I could probably get a green screen for $150 or something. I don't know, 150, 120. Once I get that first job, it's green screen. and I'm gonna have a way to pull it up to like right here so people won't see whatever behind me, and it'll just be whatever. That'll be nice. That'll be super sweet. And I'll let you know when the next live is. I'll let you know when it's going to be.